I am so stoked to be joined by Barley Passable this morning. Thank you so much for chatting to me. I guess the lead question that I want to go with is how does it feel to have a band name that just strikes fear into the hearts of journalists everywhere?
That is such a good question. I've
Um,
never thought about it like that before.
I think, I think it's it is funny, but I think we just like we don't mind, if it's barely, if it's barley, it's okay.
It's the origins of the name. So that's kind of where it comes from, is it being barely passable? And
Mm,
then we just changed it around. Beatles,
yeah,
chili peppers, chili peppers.
yeah. We thought it sounded like a bit ochre in an Australian accent, and we thought that barley sounded less ochre, so that's
It's
why we changed it.
good conversation starter as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm intrigued by the origin of it. So what was the exam that you had to slog through that resulted in this
Oh man.
name?
It was our final like ear training exam. Ear
Mm.
training was like a subject at the university that we went to, and like I don't know. There were some people who were really good at it, and we just never got the hang of it.
Yeah.
But essentially, our teacher would like play chords, and we had to identify the names of those chords. Like
Cool.
we could look at the piano, and he'd be like, I don't know, slam his hand on the piano and be
Yeah,
like,
by
"This
the
is a
end, he was like
major
genuinely
seven."
going like that, just like on
Yeah,
the piano,
yeah.
pretty much.
And it was like major seven, sharp 11, like sharp five, flat
Crazy
13. Everything, it was like
nerdy jazz
yeah,
chords.
exactly. And we knew we were doomed. So on the ferry, and we just like wrote some beats, and instead of studying, and we're like, this is it. We don't need ear training. We don't need jazz. It's time to make electronic music.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, it's time for our next segment called Name This Chord. No.
Oh my god.
I'm a bit stressed out. I'm sure you can see.
Yeah, something.
Happy release day. Congratulations. Out My Mind
Oh,
is in the world now. You teamed up for Bread Club for this one. How do you feel now that it's out there?
feels good. It feels good. We've honestly been sitting on this song for so long. Like we had our first session because it was produced alongside with Mickey Kojak, which was an awesome experience for us. We've loved his music since his what was his Leica version with
The
video
video
games.
games.
Yeah,
The
that
Pilot
was
Princess.
yeah, Parvia Frosty. We've loved him since then, so it was such a pleasure to work with him. And we worked with him, it must be like the beginning of 2023, so this year or the end of last year. We were trying to talk about that before. So it's so nice to have the song sort of sitting with us and brewing for ages and then finally release it. Feels
This isn't the first time that you've collaborated, but I did want to ask when you're an act that has such a concise and vibrant and definitive aesthetic and style, does that affect the process of collaboration when you go into these projects? Do you find yourself compromising? Does it change the way you work?
I don't think it does. And I think that's only because the people who we have been lucky enough to collaborate with have all kind of fit with, the brand and the aesthetic really strong as well. So
yeah,
like it's felt very seamless. And also lots of these people are our friends. And so it's really nice. It feels like we can bring up if there's stuff that we don't like for example, this Bread Club, the Bread Club song that we just put out, My Mind, it originally had like a completely like different verse, and it was a verse that we had written and then got them to sing, and then it went back and forth like three or four times being like which verse, because then they rewrote one of like their own verse, which is the final one, and it went back and forth a bunch of times being like, oh, which one's better, like which one suits the song better, which one serves the music better. And it was like a positive discussion, and like never felt like we were kind of like fighting. It just like felt like we were working to what was best for the song.
yeah. Everyone brings their own flavor as well. We're very happy to bring that in because, as you said, like we love our vision and we love what we do, but that's not impacted by someone else coming in and bringing their own thing to it. It just makes the whole thing broader reaching and more exciting for us and makes us consider think about what we do, and hopefully it does the same thing to other people as well. So it's just back and
It's
forth.
all good.
Was there anything during the process of making the song that you didn't expect from making it that came out of the collaboration that made you go, this has taken it to another level?
Yeah, I mean, from like a purely a production point of
Yeah.
view, we we had put our own set of drums and drum samples on, and then we like went into this session, like because like when we originally did it, it was like the original song, the original session with Mickey was like it was a heavy
It
club
was
track.
so much heavier.
Yeah, it was like it was
really
really it was yeah, it was a hot track. And then we took it back, we like changed the chords a bunch, and put our own set of drums on. And they was like going into another session with Mickey after that, and him, you know, reassessing the drums again for like the third time or something. And he just like put these drum samples on that changed the whole song. They made it like so they made it hit hard, but like still had that like kind of relaxed feeling. It was perfect. And I'm sure he won't mind us saying this, but we have stolen those
Yeah,
drums.
I said we could steal them.
Yeah, we now use we put them in our drum machine on our live set, and now we like use those religiously.
Yeah, showed us how much we don't know.
Yeah,
That's what you've got to do, though. You've got to make it like once you find something, you've got to be like, "That's mine now." Thank you very much.
yeah, exactly.
Appreciate you
What are we?
Yeah, actually, speaking of the drums, I really wanted to ask about like the French house and the yacht pop influences are very clear to me on the track, but I think the bit that really hit me the hardest is at about 2 minutes and 20 seconds when there's like a switch up that just feels so late 2000s coded. Can you talk a little bit about the journey of the song? Because yeah, like I said, that bit just struck me straight away.
Mm.
Oh, awesome.
Is that
the piano bit that goes do 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 that bit?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just us loving the band Justice. Like straight up. That's just us like referencing Justice. We are obsessed with Justice, and we go on car trips and we listen to all their records, and when we get a little bit tired, we put on like the Woman Live record or something like that, and just like slam that stuff. It's like the perfect mix for us of like hard rock and electronic music, and something about it's just like raw energy is so cool. And originally with the song being like more electronic sort of space, that section always existed. There was always like these big keys hits in the choruses, which didn't actually change that much. So that's sort of just like, I guess it's partially from the old version of the song, but it was just like, that can't go. Like, we just love that way too much. That's such a nice calling card for us to like, we love Justice.
And I think especially with, in terms of like the collaboration with Dylan's vocal, Bread Club's vocal, like in all of the verses and the choruses, like it feels like so sweet, and his falsetto is so good. And then I think when my vocal kicks in that kind of second, the bridge section, like all of that music and like the Justice stuff, but also like the presets and the Midnight Juggernauts, who are bands that we love, Australian kind of legends that we love. I think I definitely take a lot vocally from those guys as well. So
it sort of just made sense to go into that area, like once it like sort of dives out of the sweet Dylan vocals and just like let it brood into that section.
So we obviously talked about the presets and Midnight Juggernauts. Is there any Australian act, current, past, whatever, that you would love to remix Out My Mind? Like if you could pick any of them.
Wow, Midnight Juggernauts would be pretty cool.
Oh my goodness.
We're a big fan. We actually like interacted with their drummer, Daniel Stricker, who now plays in Deep Faith. That's the one, which is like a really super cool, like kind of like Web3 bit music kind of stuff. It's so awesome. And he does all this stuff with like Oculus Rift and all this kind of crap. So cool. It's really sick. It's stuff we're like sort of keeping an eye on. It's so dope. But it just like him, I mean, like all the stuff they do, that's sort of like linked with like Kieran J. Callanan and Genesis Owusu. For us, that is such exciting music at the moment. That's like got that energy of like this kind of like rock star stuff, but like not exactly rock music. But it's just got this like rawness and liveness to the whole thing. And we just like, that is so cool. We either remix, collaboration, see if they come back together. I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Yeah, far out. But I listened to the whole Midnight Juggernauts record on the way here. So
we genuinely love it. So that'd be a good one. That'd be a really cool one.
How is that experience for you though, like the interacting with him, and you know, when you've taken so much inspiration over the years and growing up listening to them, is it a surreal experience, especially so early in your career, to be shown that love and that access? Like,
I mean, it kind of was. it kind of was a bit surreal because we just like we found out who the members were. Not to say we were stalking, but we kind of were. And then we kind of like dived in. We're like, maybe one of them still has like Instagram. And then we found Daniel Stricker's Instagram. Not going to call him just by his first name. We don't know him that well.
No.
But like, and we sort of messaged him. We're like, hey, we're just this really small band. We're also from Sydney. No chance you just like want to get a coffee and talk about music. And he was just the nicest person ever.
Yeah. And he's worked with like Sebastian Tellier, who
is huge.
mental. like in terms of the whole like French dance and like French kind of pop.
Yeah.
It's like
and like was it CX Lowy? Like that like artist. The he's done so much incredible
like
stuff.
production and stuff. Yeah.
And so just as you said, to interact with him was actually surreal. And he just honestly just dished us knowledge the whole entire time. It was so sweet. It was such a nice thing to have and to interact with someone like that, because all we really need is just information about what we're supposed to be doing and learning the ropes and all those kinds of things. So to have someone do that was so nice.
I want to ask you some sort of more general questions. These are questions that I ask every act that I interview. What's a song, and you both get to answer, so you don't have to present a united front to me here. If anything, it's better for the views if you fight.
Boy.
What's a song you wish you'd written?
Oh,
I wish I'd written "Kids with Guns" by Gorillaz. I love that song.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Daft Punk.
Yeah, that's a good one as well, by Daft Punk. That's
Yeah.
a great one.
What is your current album of the year?
Wow. I really like the new Jungle record, Volcano.
I'm
a
not
big fan.
Yeah.
Maybe and I could argue about it.
Yeah, I didn't really like it that much, to be
I
honest.
haven't listened to it yet.
Wow.
Makes me a
See, I
bad
can go
Jungle fan.
No,
I've got
no,
tickets
I
to
think
the show and everything next year, and I have not listened to it.
Yeah, I actually still need to do that. But like the first Jungle record for us was like that was actually what we bonded over. We tried to make was it Julia?
Julia.
Yeah, we tried to remake Julia together. It was like one of the first things we ever did on Logic together. And we just love Jungle. But then for Davey, they've kind of done this a tiny bit in terms of like the genre. But I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. And their live set looks so cool.
I love it. I still love it. Exactly. And if they want to get us to open for them, I'm not saying that they're bad. I just
All right. What is one food place in Sydney that everyone has to try?
Oh, I've got one. Do you have one?
Yeah.
What's yours?
Well, I just went there last night. I went to Westwood Pizza, which is in.
Mine was a pizza place as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe
Is it I Love Pizza?
No.
No, it's Westwood Pizza in like Camperdown. It's the bee's knees.
I'll change mine then. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a different one then. There's a place called Curly's on the corner. It's very local. It's like our local chicken shop, and it's really good. It's not a fancy restaurant. They'll take you however you walk in with no shoes, no shirt, or a suit. It's up to you.
Yeah.
But they make damn good food, and it's really cheap, and we always go there.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready for your toughest question?
Oh, yes.
I did a little digging. I went to your Unearth profile, and I like to scroll to the bottom and see the sounds like artists we love section. And I'm going to make you make some choices. So I want you to tell me your favorite and least favorite album of these two artists. So here's your first one. Tell me your favorite and your least favorite album from Jungle. I feel like we already sort of discussed that. I feel like I should change it.
No, that's fair. I think for both of us, it would be our favorite would be the first record. Is that just called Jungle?
Yeah.
The self-titled record, like the one. The least favorite?
The new one. It's the new one.
Mine would be on not the gold one. Is that Loving in Stereo? Is that like the beige one? The beigey white one. Yeah. Actually, probably my least.
Wow. Well, it's been nice talking to all of you. I'm just gonna.
Yeah. All right. See you later.
See you later. Okay. The single's out, I guess.
Ooh.
So that definitely the first Jungle record, because that first one, So this is actually interesting because we also love this guy called Jai Paul. I'm sure everyone knows Jai Paul, but
Yeah.
we didn't realize that Jungle, that first Jungle record, was like just exactly the
Them doing
same.
Jai Paul.
Yeah, them like doing just Jai Paul stuff, which we were mind blown because we love Jai Paul as well. And so I think that, you know, Jai Paul felt like he was doing something like completely new and then didn't get to live that out because of the whole leak situation. And so then the fact that like Jungle released this record just felt like Jai Paul's second record.
Yeah, that hit a good note for us.
So yeah, that one really works
Yeah,
well for us.
That's definitely our favorite Jungle record.
Yeah.
All right. This one I'm really, this is my last one. Favorite album, least favorite album. Daft Punk.
Ooh. Damn.
I would almost say least favorite is easier than favorite.
Yeah. I reckon Discovery's got to be the number one.
Well, mine's Random Access Memories.
This guy.
This
It's definitely Discovery. Discovery is the best album that they have released.
Yeah, but you don't listen to it as much, I reckon.
I do.
No, well, then I just listen to Random Access Memories more than you do.
Well, you're wrong. Incorrect.
Well, I like the live stuff. It feels like a perfect album to me. Whereas I like Discovery because it's like the soundtrack to the movie, and like that itself makes it even cooler, which is really cool. They're very close still for me.
Yeah. I think it's like Discovery is all killer, no filler. And I think that there are a couple of tracks, a couple of moments in Random Access Memories that I do skip. Whereas I put it on at the start, I play it through to the end.
Fair.
Least
favorite though. What's the one with the TV screen on it?
Nah.
Human
That's Human
After
After
All.
All.
Human After
I love that one. I love that one.
Yeah,
That
can be
your
my
least
least.
favorite.
That's my least favorite.
I think that was like pretty universally people's least favorite.
Yeah,
record, I think.
Yeah.
I think
it was
that
an
got
in-between record. Their records are just so big that the problem is if they put out something that just doesn't hit like as hard and have as many like hits or like the conceptual thing
But
like
that one
behind
is so
it.
conceptual.
Yeah.
That was like Television Ruins the Nation and Robot Rock.
I like
all
Robot
of
Rock.
those.
I like those
Yeah.
songs, but I couldn't name any
Like
other
the
ones
hits.
on there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
What's your least favorite? Got a big one. Can be Homework.
Yeah, damn, you get ripped. You're gonna put this out, and you're gonna just like, get decimated by all of the people who see it. But yeah, I reckon Homework's probably my least favorite one.
We
really
could argue about this for a while.
Barley Passable. Thank you so much for talking to me. Out My Mind is out now. Everybody needs to go and stream it. If you don't, I will come to your house and yell at you. I can do that. I have that power. That's why, that's my thing to do now. Thank you so much for talking to me. Appreciate you. Thank you again.
Amazing.
Thank you so much, Chris. That's lovely.